about like day trading, they envision like some 20-year-old in like mom and dad's house, just gambling with money. Because that's how they always reference it. Like, oh, you guys are just gambling with your money. Like, actually, no, we're not. There's actually a process in place. There's discipline. There's a lot of risk management. And every time I hear them talk about just talking smack about day traders, I'm like, okay, you guys try to get your measly, 10% a year, on your portfolios. While I just did 50% in 2 months. So,
Right.
you tell me who's beating who. Well, with that being said, what's up, guys? Good morning. Like Taj and I said, today's gonna be really, really easy in terms of a watch
Twitter.
list. Did something happen to Twitter?
Twitter just popped like 6, 7 points.
Okay. Well, Twitter's on the watch list now. Let's see what news there was on Twitter. Yeah, I'm seeing the pop now. So let me just get started. AMC, GameStop, costs, you guys name it. Those, BlackBerry, Bed Bath and Beyond, and now Twitter with this huge volume pop. So we just got to find out what the news is behind this volume pop. But just to pull up the charts on GameStop. So guys, GameStop, we played it really, really well yesterday. Snap as well is popping. Well, Snap has got
I found it.
no. Snap is not as much as Twitter, but let's see. So, anyways, with GameStop, the way I see it is this, guys. If it could reclaim 158, break out of that 165 zone, then we're in for a rip, right? What I like about GameStop is that you can see here on my charts, it did pull back from that 168 at almost the 7 o'clock hour, but it's been trending upwards from that rebound. It's been setting higher lows. You can see it right here, and it's got a nice trend line that it's holding to the upside. So the only other piece to the formula that we need is if GameStop rips above 165, I mean, shoot, this thing might rip up to $200+. Just be aware of the contracts. Implied volatility is extremely high, which is going to pump premium into the contracts. And also be extremely careful playing expiration tomorrow. I gotta say, guys, if you play expiration tomorrow and let's just say the trade doesn't work out, like from your entry, you're gonna get bit really, really hard. So please, please, please be careful. Don't try to make a home run today. With GameStop, guys, we had some traders in here at Stack. They bought GameStop yesterday at like $62 with like 25 shares. Ended up selling it at like, $113, I think it was. Ended up making good money, just off with 25 shares. So it just goes to show you that you don't need to go big and buy 500 shares, 1,000 shares, or whatever amount it is. Take it easy. Enjoy the ride. Let's enjoy. Let's have fun. Let's make money. And let's just kind of make it a little stress-free. And we just need to wait for that proper entry point and determine the risk-reward ratio. AMC is going to be the same thing. If AMC can break out of this like 1070, which is about to right now, target is going to be 1110, and then we could just rip it higher. So AMC and GameStop are going to be the same play. Taj and I are going to call it out. So don't worry. We're going to call out exactly when we're going to get in, get out, and the proper risk-reward ratios, okay? So now let's flop over to Twitter. Taj, what was the Twitter announcement?
They see at least double the revenue from 2020 to 7.5 billion or more in 2023.
Double.
So it's projection, but yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Similar to Snap, what happened with Snap the other day.
Yeah. Snap said that they were gonna have increased revenues every single year, 50% every single year increased revenue. Okay, gotcha. All right, so yeah, that's why Twitter is definitely popping. And if you look on the daily chart, I mean, Twitter just broke out of a nice bull flag. So this is all-time highs on Twitter. Very nice breakout. If Twitter acts anything similar to what Snap did the other day, I mean, this thing can definitely rip. I mean, it's already ripped up. Jesus, like 8 points in pre-market. Uh, we're gonna just have to wait for a nice setup on it so that we can go long. Snap is kind of reacting to it as well. So Snap and Twitter are going to be on that watch list as well. One other, well, I'm going to mention two other ones, and then I'll pass it on to Taj. I'm going to keep a close eye on Tesla. So news on Tesla came out that they had to suspend or cancel. I'm not sure. I think it was just suspend a production facility in California. Stock is gapping down. The Nasdaq as well, right? The overall market is gapping down again. So look, this whole week the market's been gapping down and it kind of got bought up, right? But here's the thing that I'm looking at, right? On the daily, you've got the 50 MA. Yesterday the 50 MA was at 319. The 50 MA today is at 320, right? So 320 is the number that I'm looking at. If the Nasdaq fails to hold that 320, it's in some trouble. Be careful because there are big institutions buying up this market, trying to keep it up. But for instance, like Kathy Woods, right? She bought a lot of shares of Tesla the other day. She bought a lot of shares of PLTR. But how much more is she willing to buy up if the market, right, keeps selling off, right? And I just pick on her as one example, but there are hundreds of institutions, right, and hedge funds that are doing the exact same thing as her. But if the market keeps having this pressure to the downside, I mean, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen, right? So I'm just I'm being very cautiously optimistic about this market trying to rally. I still see the daily trend pushing to the downside. This morning you had the 10-year yield. Right now it's sitting at 1.46. Once again, the closer we get to 1.5, it starts challenging the thesis for these bulls. AMC triggered the long, so you can see AMC already broke out 20 points from my original entry. I scalped it, but it's already ripped up pretty nicely. So,
20 point.
huh?
I said 20 points, bro?
Did I say 20 points? Oh, 20
cents.
20 cents. Sorry. With Tesla specifically, if Tesla can reclaim 728, I'll look to go long if it gets bought back up. But if Tesla breaks 718, I'll short it. So that's what I'm looking at for Tesla. The overall Nasdaq, if the Nasdaq breaks below this like 321, 320.80, I'll look to short it with some puts. If it reclaims 322, I'll look to buy it with some calls. So with that being said, let me pass it on to Taj because I'm gonna keep my A list really simple, guys. I'm not gonna get distracted today. There's gonna be a lot of names moving, right? But I'm gonna stay hyper focused on the names that I just mentioned because I really want to nail them today. GameStop and AMC already triggered their longs, so we just have to wait for the setups. All right, Taj, on to you, brother.
Yeah, so honestly, there's really only going to be two names that I'm adding to it because, I'm right on board with you. I think today is going to be a great day to just, focus on the names that have moved in the past. GameStop, AMC, right? And then also I like KOSS. KOSS is another one that had a big move yesterday. It's a former mover.
Yeah.
Closed yesterday at $18. It's up to $35, or almost 36. So it's pretty much doubled in value in pre-market. And this is a former runner. This is a stock that went up. Just went almost as crazy as GameStop when it's up $127. And it's actually bull flagging here similarly to GameStop and PLTR. I'm sorry, GameStop and AMC. So the way I would play KOSS, if it starts to break out above $36, we can look for a long. We can throw our stops around $34 and see if we can test that high of $39.45. If I'm looking at resistance on the daily, there's really none until about $60. I would have to really dig back further to see if there's anything more on an intraday basis. But on a daily chart, there's really nothing until $60. It's actually approaching that bull flag breakout, so we may get it here soon. But KOSS is another one. What's nice about a lot of these names is you can pretty much choose whichever price range that you want. If you want something cheaper, you can go with AMC. If you want something that's in the middle of the pack, you can go with KOSS. If you want, the big money maker, you can go with GameStop, right? So there's a different variety of each depending on what your risk tolerance is and what your capital is. Yeah, look at GameStop breaking out right now.
Yeah.
So there's going to be ample of opportunity for everyone to trade any one of these names. The last name that I'll be adding to the list is actually Neo. It's a name we watched yesterday. Took a while for it to play out, but nonetheless, it ended up doing exactly what we wanted it to do that we talked about in our pre-market analysis yesterday. And Neo is currently gapping down a bit. It had a rally earlier this morning around 4:30. Then started to sell off pretty steeply, but now we're starting to catch some support here, and we're starting to get some flagging action. So if Neo can reclaim 51.80, you can look for a potential long with stops around 51.30, and see if we can test yesterday's high around $52. If we can, $53 is going to be our next resistance zone. So that's going to be an easy, 1-to-1, 2-to-1 play on Neo if it can catch that momentum and continue to rally in the morning. So that's another name that I'll be keeping an eye on. It's going to more so be on the B list than the A list because, like I said, you want to keep your eye on the KOSS, AMC, GameStop, and all those other names. And let me go ahead and flip to Twitter really quick to get an update on what's going on. Okay, so Twitter, we're starting to get some price action stabilized here. As of now, we have a little mini bull flag forming compared to the rest of the move that just happened. I would prefer for Twitter to settle down, to look for an entry.
Yep.
However, if the next 15 minutes go by and price starts to settle here, the ADA starts to catch up, we could potentially look for a long on Twitter at the break of around 80.26, 80.30, and throw our stops at around 78.50. So it is going to be quite a bit of range for a stock like Twitter, but considering the move that it just had, there's going to be a solid potential reward for Twitter considering the move that it just had. Twitter just moved $10 in 10 minutes, which is nuts. Like Alex said, it's breaking out of the bull flag on the daily, and this is going into all-time highs on Twitter. So now we're in no man's land here. We'll have to really look at level 2 to see where some of the resistance areas are. But like I said, if we can break out above this flag here around 80.26, we can definitely look for a long. I prefer for it to pull back to its A to May, maybe even consolidate here around the $78, $80 price range, and then look for an entry. And if we can do that, I really like Twitter. So keep an eye on Twitter. Again, it's another name that I think is going to be hot today, especially if the market starts to rebound.
Yep.
So I'll be keeping an eye on that as well. But for me, I'm going to be tunnel vision on AMC, KOSS, and GameStop. That's going to be pretty much all three stocks that I'm just going to be watching all day. So, I mean, with that being said, that's pretty much there's nothing more to add to the watch list.
Yeah, I mean, we got to keep it simple, and you have stocks moving the way that they are, like AMC, GME, KOSS. I mean, there's no need to try to dig in the market to find other opportunities. The opportunities are right here. Let's just stay hyper focused on them. Let's make that money and, call it a day. So with that being said, guys, this is probably one of our shortest pre-market analysis for YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Smash that like button and subscribe button. And hey, man, just come over here and make money with us every single day. We called to go long GameStop yesterday at $62, and we have some people swinging call options. They're going to make bank. I'm so happy for them. And we had some people trade in after hours yesterday. Some people swung GameStop from $62 and sold it at nearly $120. So congrats to everyone making just really good money on GameStop yesterday. And today it continues. So thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll see you all tomorrow.